I recently had a very good flight with my 2-year-old and 3-year-old, and I'm going to tell you what I did that hopefully you can do too. Hi everyone, welcome back to Living Even Keeled. So like I just said, I flew across the nation and I had a really good flight. This is the third time flying with Olivia, the second time flying with both Olivia and Violet, and I don't know, we got lucky, we did some things. I'm gonna tell you exactly what we did so you can try to incorporate them into your next flight, because I know it can be terrifying flying with kiddos, just scared of like all the things that could go wrong and do go wrong. So the first thing that we did that seemed to really work is that we had an early flight. And the reason this was beneficial was the girls were tired, so they slept on the plane. Now, you have to do what you have to do, but if you have enough time to plan, you may consider going early. In fact, it was a little too early. It was like a 6 a.m. flight, and by the time you backwards plan for check-in and then backwards plan for driving, because we don't live close to an airport, we were waking up what felt like in the middle of the night. But like I said, it all worked out because my 2-year-old slept almost the entire flight, which was just under 5 hours, or you know, I think maybe 4.5 hours, and my 3-year-old slept for a good amount of time, so early might work for you. The next thing you want to have in mind is food. I packed a little peanut butter jelly for each of my girls. I packed a sandwich for me that I did eat during the flight. I was hungry. Packing snacks that they enjoy. Like, we don't give our girls lollipops all the time, but they love lollipops. We give them chocolate often. I love chocolate, but I was scared it's going to be too messy, a little too melty. You know how kids can be with chocolate. We did fruit snacks. They love getting fruit snacks. So those kind of treats are good too. Also, you might want to look into your terminal. I know I did this. I'm such a planner. But I looked at my airline and what terminal I was in, and I saw what was going to be open at that time of day. So if you would rather buy stuff, at least a coffee, you know what's going to be open and plan ahead. My next tip is to travel light. So even if you're checking bags, that's fine, but don't carry on too much. That's my tip. I like to do carry-ons. If you can only do carry-ons, that's fine, but make sure you put it up. You just don't want to have to manage a lot of stuff, because every little bit of traveling takes energy from you and nothing really fills it back in. And so then if your kids need any energy or support or comfort, you're kind of already exhausted just from getting to the airport and carrying all your stuff around. So if you can travel light, but you don't want to skip out on the snacks and activities. So again, we like those magic markers where you use one marker and it does all the colors. Violet used that a little bit. Our number one activity for my 3-year-old going on 4-year-old was the iPad. She was able to watch a movie that we had downloaded already. We usually buy digital copies of movies anyway, so it didn't cost us anything extra. Violet, because it was early, slept the majority of the time, so she didn't really need much entertainment. So by the time she woke up, just doing a little sticker book was enough to keep her entertained. Another thing that worked out really well for us was seating. So it depends on your airline, but if you have an opportunity to choose your seat, you may consider the aisle seat. I used to think window was best because my child would be kind of contained in there and she can look out the window, but they don't really stay fascinated by the view as much as we might. The aisle seat seemed to be more interesting because she could see what was going on and see the flight attendants doing their thing. Plus, we could have a really quick getaway to the potty if we needed to. So aisle seat worked out great for us. In fact, we had an aisle seat toward the back of the plane. We purposely chose that because we were close to the restroom, and that is really convenient when you have little ones. Also in terms of seating, so we had the aisle seat, we were in the back of the plane near the restroom, and we were divided because the rows are in 3 in our flight, and we're a family of 4, and we had to think, do we want to do 2 kids with 1 adult and then the adults switch out? But we decided to do 2 and 2, and that was really good because my girls are at an age where they love each other and they bug each other. So if one of them starts to look at them the wrong way, it could be really frustrating, and then they express that and it's loud and a thing happens. So having them kind of separated just by a seat was perfectly fine. Plus we put the wigglier one in the back, so in case she was kicking the seat or being a little unruly, it was just to my seat. Oh, and something else I forgot to mention is we got super lucky. It was supposed to be a full flight, but nobody ended up sitting next to my husband. So in his row of 3, it was just him and my 2-year-old, who is the more wiggly one. So they had space to kind of spread out. I know you don't always get that option, but if you can kind of juggle your family and give the one child who might need a little bit more space, then go for it. You know, divide up your family if you have to. It really worked for us and it was no big deal. Because this way each child got the one-on-one attention. Plus all I had to do was turn around to see her if I really wanted to. Now I think Southwest, maybe some other ones, you don't choose your seat, but you can board early if you sign in early. So you can usually check in 24 hours from that flight time. I would do it right away. Set your alarm on your phone. That way you can board early and you can have your pick of seats. If you board later, you're kind of just filling in the blanks, and that can become a real problem when you have little ones. They might not even have two together, so the earlier, the better. Having flown direct and with layovers, I do think direct is the best option. It's the better option at this point in my life. I first thought layovers were best so I could do a diaper change. I could change their pajamas if they had an early flight into regular clothing. We could have time to stretch our legs and get a bite to eat. But with the boarding time, the pre-boarding and everything, it just made for such a long day that we were all extremely exhausted, including the kids, by the time we got to our destination. So direct did seem to be better. We didn't miss the stretching time at all. Going to the bathroom seemed to be enough of a fun trip for us. So I got lucky this time. We had a very easy flight, no delays, no hiccups, no problems. We got straight to our hotel. We had a really, really good time. This was the best time we've ever had traveling so far. It was also a one-way ticket, so we didn't have to do it again in just a few days. So if you do have to do it again in a few days, you might want to rethink your snack plan, pack some backup activity books, or even pick up a few souvenirs wherever you're going. So good luck with your flight. If you are flying sometime soon with your family, let me know where in the comments below. And if you want to see where we flew and what we're up to, tune into my Sunday videos. I'm trying to do weekly vlogs to kind of just keep everyone in the know with what's going on in my life. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.